Yo, what's up, guys, and welcome to another album review. I think I caught him off guard that time. And after that, we didn't talk by GoldLink. I want to preface this by saying I'm a big fan of GoldLink. I've been listening to him since his other album. I'm not sure if it was his first, but his previous one, nonetheless, which was called The God Complex. Really dope. He's a very bouncy rapper. Really cool vibes all around. And you ready?
Yeah, let's do this.
Awesome.
Actually, for people who don't know who GoldLink is, because I didn't really know who he is, I don't know what to expect. You said it best. He's vibey, he's bouncy. Like this kind of artist with the type of beats that he uses and the way he raps, think of it's like Euro trash music mixed with urban American hip hop music, and the lyrics and the sounds just kind of meshing together. And that's GoldLink for you, and that's what you expect. And he's mostly famous on the internet, I'm assuming.
I'm pretty sure he's like under a label now.
He's under okay.
I think so. I couldn't tell you for sure, but I know that I don't know. Like a lot of people have heard of him. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, I've heard of him, but yeah, first album I've ever heard is interesting for sure. You want to do the first one?
Of course I do. Thank you so much, man. That actually means the world to me. Track number 1, After You Left. Also, this album is kind of about girls the whole time, or one girl, and so we're going to start off, this is kind of like the beginning of the story to the album, After You Left. One thing I liked about this a lot is right off the bat, we get instant, classic GoldLink, right? Instantly vibey, instantly bouncy, really well produced, and this song felt like an intro, which I like.
Yeah.
A lot of intros to albums, you could throw that song anywhere in the piece of work and it wouldn't.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, and this one felt a lot like an actual intro, and it was also very personal, and it had substance.
It had some substance. This song, from what it looked like to me, was like at the beginning, flipping to the radio stations, and then after you left, scenario happens. He's talking to a girl, whatever, on the phone, and then basically he's recapping his life.
Yeah.
Pretty much. So this song is a big recap of his life. So it's helpful for somebody like me because I don't really know who GoldLink is. Didn't know too much about him, and this song told me pretty much everything I need to know about him. And his sound and everything was all there. First thing that caught my eye was that he's got an interesting flow, he's got an interesting voice, and I like that about him. That's one of the pluses I have. We'll see if there's more pluses.
Yeah. And great progression also. It's one of those tracks where it progresses throughout the track, whether it's the beat, whether it's his flow, but he kept switching it up, which is
always key for an intro.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely. Or the song in general, really. But
yeah.
Okay.
Track number 2 is called Zippora.
We don't know what that means. But
I don't know if I'm even saying it right. Zippora, whatever. But it's track number 2. This one is... I actually didn't even know because it's such a good transition from track 1 to track 2. I didn't even know until he pointed out that it was a new song. So I'm stupid, but once it switched over, it's his mom basically waking him up and saying, "Get your ass up."
There's an alarm clock first. He's not just like some lazy motherfucker getting his mom to wake him up. He does have an alarm clock.
But
first.
His mom is like, you can't just lay your ass around like that all day.
Also
you got to
true.
get your ass up and go to church, literally. And he's got cool lyrics in this song. He basically asking why this, why that. Basically, the theme of it is like the struggles of growing up as a African American in America, and his parents being a certain way because they're immigrants. I think that's what.
Yeah, I think that's what it was suggesting.
Yeah, I think that's what he suggested. What did you think about the song though?
Good overall. I didn't like this one as much as I liked track 1. I thought track 1 was a solid track. This one is good, but it got a little boring, maybe, possibly. It's hard to get bored of GoldLink, though, because he's so bouncy and vibey. One thing about this is it had a unique beat, something we don't often hear from GoldLink and his beats, and the way he produces, or whoever produces. We got a guitar in the background. I liked that. We heard a few, unheard of not unheard of, but rarities throughout this album with samples and things like that. We got a violin at some point, but yeah, it was a guitar in this one, and I really appreciated that.
Yeah, for me it was an okay beat. To be honest with you, I wasn't too impressed there. Lyrically, it was okay for an artist who's just mainly about their flow and mainly about their vibiness. So it was okay. I would have honestly pressed fast forward if it was a tape. If it was a cassette, I would have hit fast forward and taken the time and waited till the next track.
Yeah.
So it was okay.
Yeah. Next one is track number 3, Dark Skin Woman. Right off the bat, super vibey, and this is the first song that was bouncy and vibey, and at the same time actually wanted to dance, where the other ones were like uplifting, but this was the first song where like, okay, this is a dance track, right? And I respected that a lot, although this is also the decline as far as his substance and his lyricism goes, unfortunately. From here on out, except for 1 or 2 tracks, this is there for the rest of the album, but that's not too bad. Like, the hook got repetitive in my opinion, at least. I think it used the same background vocals from the previous song also, it's...
Yeah, I mean, same thing for me. This one sounded to me like an urban pop song, something that was meant maybe to be on the radio or something like that. But in the same way, when it sounds something like that, it sounds so generic. It just sounds like, vanilla. It just mixes in with the rest of the crowd, and it didn't stand out to me for songs that are particularly like that. And like the instruments, he did have more instruments on this one. But like all the instruments on this album, like honestly sounded so processed that they didn't even really sound like like the actual acoustic instruments. Yeah. So it just didn't have that extra vibiness kind of feel for me.
Yeah.
Like when you hear like Kendrick's new album, or not new album, but the one that just came out, his last album.
To Pimp a Butterfly.
Yeah, To Pimp a Butterfly. He had instruments on that, but they actually sounded like instruments. They didn't sound like processed, like they were from far away being recorded. Like it sounded like live instruments being recorded at the time of the album. Maybe he just doesn't have the resources to do that, because he only made $100,000 last year, like he pointed out in his first song. If you actually listen to the album, you know what I'm talking about. But like I wasn't impressed at all.
Okay. Ready for the next one, big guy?
Yeah, let's go to track number 4. Track number 4 is one of the coolest words in the Urban Dictionary, or in the English Dictionary, is spectrum. And spectrum means, fuck what the spectrum means. Spectrum is basically a trancey, clubby song. I think this is more to the roots of what GoldLink is like.
Yeah,
very like trancey.
I'd say so for sure.
Euro club kind of music. The song's about nothing, so don't listen to the song if you're looking for substance. But it's a nice beat. It mixes in well with his voice. His voice actually goes really well with this beat. It's a nice pace, and that's where the compliments end for this guy, because he's got no hook either. So I don't know. What did you?
There was a bit of a hook, but I thought I could use more. It was one of those hooks where there's lyrics and there's like a beat, but there's nothing to the beat. It was a naked hook. That's the best way.
It's a naked hook.
It's a naked hook. That's the best way I could describe it. This was actually one of my favorite songs in the album, believe it or not.
Really?
Okay. I good flow progression. Like throughout the song, he changed how he was rapping, changed his flow. His lyrics even picked up the pace ever so slightly. And in the second verse, he's rapping almost completely differently to how he was rapping in the first verse. And I like that. Progression is really important to me in rap songs. And this is another very vibey, bouncy song. And fucking one of the reasons I love Gold Glove. He's a fucking video game YouTuber. GoldenEye. Yeah, that's a game also.
That's also a character in 007.
Oh, nice. But one of the reasons I like GoldLink is because he's so bouncy and vibey and like dance music, and I got that from this, and I like that.
Cool. Next.
Cool story, man.
Cool story.
He was telling a story through this. I thought that was cool also.
Yeah, it's refreshing to hear actually some substance in the song. Mm-hmm. I like substance. That's why I'm wearing the Wu-Tang shirt. Anyways, are we on track number 5 now?
We are.
Yeah, track number 5.
Behind the times.
It's your turn.
I'm so behind the times. Track number 5, Dance on Me. I like this one too, but it has no substance, and here's the thing. So many of these songs, if you release them just as songs, like singles, right? They'd be great. They'd be cool listens. They're cool things to just like, oh, this is on my shuffle. Sure, let's keep this playing. But if you listen to this album the entire way through, you start to realize that like they're not that good actually. I don't know. It's cool. It gave me like an R&B kind of vibe. It was my favorite beat so far as of this point while listening to it. But
it was my favorite beat, 45 seconds in, 30 to 45 seconds in. Yeah, like they came in with like a traditional R&B beat. It was probably like a straight sample from another song. I don't know. I'll look into it later. But it just sounded like they sampled it directly out of another song, didn't do anything to it, and then did something to it 45 seconds in to change it up. And I actually really liked the beat at the beginning. It was an awesome intro to the song, and then they switched in, and I was like, "Fuck, you ruined the beat."
We were both like, what's happening here?"
It switched to more of a trancey R&B beat. I guess sticking to GoldLinks' roots.
Yeah, but it was giving off a cool soulful vibe.
Yeah. It did add an extra element. You're right there. He showed that he could really spit on this though.
Yeah,
he could really spit, not necessarily lyrically, but he could just come with bars and just keep his pace up and switch it up and transition into a hook real nicely. But yeah, the beat there kind of, I don't know, knocked the marks down for me on this one.
Okay, yeah.
You really liked it, and I don't know.
I didn't really like it. It was my favorite beat so far from the beginning of it, and then it went downhill. And I don't know. This had the potential to be my favorite song. I guess really GoldLinks' middle name is Potential at this point. But yeah, I don't know. I ain't got nothing else to say.
Okay, well, we'll go into track number 6. That's how you do it. Track number 6. This one is called Late Night. And this might have a feature on it. We'll look into it more. Just the version of the album that we had, to be honest with you, didn't tell us what features were on there. But it sounded like, I don't know, maybe it was him that sounded like Miguel.
Yeah. The
singer. And it was a really, really nice voice to intro this song. Very, dare I say, sexy song. It's very chill.
Could you? No.
It's a very sexy song. It's very loungy, kick back with your girl, have a few martinis, wear a nice suit. She wears a nice dress. Night on the town kind of song. But yeah, it's background music for me. It was not something that I would maybe want to listen to at home by myself. It's just. But if I was going to be doing sexual things or intimate romantic things, then yeah, it'd be nice to play in the background. I'll give them that.
I got a completely different vibe from the song.
Late Night?
Palm Trees.
Oh, I thought we were on Late Night, track 6. You're fucked. Late Night.
I love the hook.
Awesome. It was a sweet, sexy hook.
Yeah, okay. No, I get it now. I remember this one. I promise I do, actually. But yeah, the only thing I have with this is around the time of the album. It was track 6 out of 11. I think this is, track 6 out of 11. And I was okay, I've heard so many songs about girls now. Girls are great, but give me something else, GoldLink. Give me, that's what I wrote down. I was good change of pace, because it was, but there's no change of pace in the substance, which it's about time. There's a song near the end of this album that they could have placed in the middle of this album, and I would have saved it, right? But they didn't.
I guess he's assuming his listeners are just going to listen to certain tracks, right?
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, that's how most people listen to music nowadays. We're the only fucking people hardcore losers that listen to albums.
We are music nerds. If you think about it, we are hip-hop nerds.
Yeah, I mean, dedicate time to do this.
Yeah, it's gross.
Assholes.
It's really fucking gross.
You want to intro number 7?
Sure. 7. Palm Trees. This is my favorite hook, actually. The last hook was really cool. This is my favorite hook. This is the one where we're both really vibing. Yeah. And then we looked at each other and it got weird and awkward.
Yeah.
Okay. This was, I got a Seinfeld-y vibe from this beat. And it was not necessarily a good thing, but there was definitely an 80s element to it, and I respected that more than anything. But the theme was still the same. I don't know.
Yeah, he was quieter on this track, I noticed.
Yeah.
So basically it's a slower beat with him kind of being quieter and, I don't know, mysterious on this song. It sounded like a shitty 80s song, or at least the beat sounded like a shitty beat from the 80s that they fucking found somewhere and dusted it off and then rapped over it. There was a feature on here. I don't know who it was. It was a cheesy 80s feeling feature, and just the song sucked.
This song sucked.
Yeah, to be honest.
Yeah.
Let's go into track number 8. This track is called Unique.
There is something unique about this track, though, which you will get into now.
Well, the very first line, or one of the first lines, he says underneath. He had a line where he mentions underneath palm trees.
I think that's the hook, actually.
Was that the hook?
I think he starts off with the hook, and that's what it says, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, he comes with the underneath the palm trees line, which is pretty unique because if you look at the track listing, it's right underneath palm trees.
Which is cool.
And it's just fucking cool, and I noticed that within the first few seconds, and I was hey, underneath the palm trees, you see that?
Yeah, then after that, he's singing Cool J, and I was oh, he's singing, that's cool.
Yeah.
I straight, great vibes overall. Fucking, and the hook was dope. Wish he flips up the flow on the second hook though. This lacks progression for sure.
Very easy to listen to song though. Like this is good
absolutely.
Elevator music, background music.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just
elevator music is one of the most like disrespectful ways to describe like background music, but like it is though.
But that's
like,
what it is, right?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
am I not wrong?
Yeah, it's a harsh way to say it, but it's still true. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's nothing that you can really get too much into, like as far as lyrically, or you want to hear it and like, hey, what's next, kind of thing. Like, hey, what's next?
What's next? What's next? I forgot what's it called. Polarized.
I have to point out my other favorite word on this song, or on this album.
Okay.
Spectrum and polarized, cool words.
Nice. Is that your favorite part of this whole album then? Like,
the words. Yeah.
Nice. If it said flabbergasted, this would have been my favorite album ever. But like they fucked up. He didn't do it. Track number 9, Polarized. And like he was saying before this song started that like this is either gonna be really good or really bad because that is polarizing, right? Yeah. It was really bad. It wasn't a good one. I didn't like it at all. It started off with a cool like Aztec kind of feel to it, like tribey almost, and then he just and add potential, right? It's fucking gold potential Link over here, and then he fucking and then he shit on our chests, and I wasn't okay with it.
I wanted a pearl necklace, and I got just shit all over my neck, and honestly, you said it started off like Aztec-y and tribally, and then they just came in with like the trance beat, and it sounded over-processed, and it just sounded crappy, and just sounded cheap, and I don't know, it was boring, the lyrics were lame, and there was just nothing here that I liked, and I guess that's why it's polarizing, but I don't know.
This was the weakest track, emphasis on that word.
We are going to get into the next track number 10, second last song, and they kind of redeem them, or GoldLink kind of redeems himself on this one. This one is called New Black, and here he actually gets into true messages, and he's talking about, you know, a lot of the things that you hear in the media right now where people are just like, what's wrong with our community as far as, you know, African Americans questioning their own community, and just sort of talking about the issues that they have with poverty and police brutality and whatnot. What are your thoughts?
It was a little short. I thought, like, first of all, he should have placed this song earlier in the album.
This is the one.
Yeah, I thought it would have saved the album almost, but it would have been better if he not only placed it earlier in the album, but also extended it, not changed what is there, maybe like switch it up after. This is exactly 2 minutes long, right? So you get to that exactly 2 minutes point, then you fucking beat change it. Yeah. He starts rapping all fast like he was in that one song. And, like, this could have been the song you were talking about earlier where, like, yeah, this is a perfect example of, like, if somebody wants to know what GoldLink is, you show them this. Yeah. This could have been. Personality. Yeah, this could have been, and this should have been that song. Yeah. And, but, yeah, it was a little short. The hook was dope, though.
The hook was great.
Yeah, other than that, I really wouldn't change anything about it. This is my favorite on the album.
This is my favorite, too. Do you remember what that hook exactly was?
No clue.
Okay, but listen to this one for the hook. It's a more serious hook. It tells you more about who GoldLink might actually be, instead of, you know, about sexy girls and this and that and different kinds of chicks and going out and getting hand jobs.
I just
threw that in. I don't even know if he mentions a hand job, but anyways, just felt like it's a very hand jobby album. And but it's a nice message. It's cool that they put this song into this album. I liked it. Yeah. And it's important for, I think, artists to talk about some of the things that he talks about in this song.
Absolutely.
That's just my take.
Track number 11. Last one on here. After the intro and how it felt like an intro, I was getting really psyched up for this one. I was like, yeah, see, I miss. That, you know, it sounds like it's going to be an outro. If you think about it, going from the first track, which is called After You Left, to going to See, I Miss, it sounds like it's going to be the end of the story, right? And it kind of was the end of the story. But this was the most boring song on the album, the worst song on the album, had no progression, the beat needed way more. It was personal, which was cool, but this didn't even feel like an outro. I did not like the song.
One word, or 3 words to describe this song. ZZZ. Because that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to fucking sleep.
The cheesiest thing in the world. But like, yeah, sure.
ZZZZ. It was a cheesy song, though. Yeah. Like, it's just like your typical slow, cheesy outro, put your ass to sleep. Like, just no effort, I don't think. Like,
dropping smokes.
You drop your smokes. underage smoker. He did have a really nice voice, and it is, I guess, an okay song to vibe to.
Yeah.
More like, dare I say, elevator music again, but more elevator background. Easy to listen to, but really just nothing there, and it's boring. And it was a bad outro to this song.
Yeah. To this song. This album.
Bad outro to this album. Yeah.
And now, done the track by track. Want to talk about the artist for a little bit?
Yeah. Let's talk about the artist. You know a little bit more about him. You are a big fan of GoldLink. You've been saying it all day.
That's what I was getting super psyched up for this. I was like, GoldLink, he's so sick. The God Complex was dope. But now, I've gone through the entirety of this album. I never obviously did with the God Complex what I've done with this. I didn't sit down, listen to the whole thing like without stopping.
Yeah,
and
that's
take notes.
true. It does give you a different perspective when you break each song down.
I think GoldLink is a crazy, like probably one of the better rappers out there right now for like dance music. Easily the bounciest out there right now, which I obviously love. But he really lacks substance. But like there's one thing with this artist that I love and I'm really hoping for is that he has so much potential.
Yeah. Like
we were saying, if GoldLink was fucking labeled under good music or something, even like Rockefeller, he needs a rapper that's already done it to show him how to do it, or just throw him on like fucking Cruel Winter's coming up, right? Yeah. Give him a few verses on Cruel Winter, put him on good music. Like,
he maybe needs somebody to help him with his hooks.
He needs guidance.
Yeah, he needs guidance. I think he's got a lot of raw talent though. He's got a really awesome voice. He's got a really cool flow. He's got an interesting accent.
Yeah, I don't even know how to describe it. But he raps for the beat, which is cool.
Yeah, exactly. And if it's like a more tropically kind of sounding beat, he comes in with a more vibey, tropically sounding voice.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a real accent or not, but he has a little bit of island kind of sound to him as well. But his music is not islandy at all. But he does have a lot of raw talent, in my opinion. He has all the right pieces. He just doesn't have direction. You know, at the beginning of this video, I said he sounded kind of like trance and urban hip-hop music kind of meshed together. I think he lacks direction in which lane he's in.
Yeah, that's
you
true.
know what I mean? Like, he bounces back and forth well, but he doesn't bounce back and forth with anything that's really original for him. That's truly him, you know what I mean?
He is, like, at the same time, though, he is doing it like nobody else is doing it right now.
He is.
He's the only person out, like, putting out this kind of hip-hop, and I have a lot of respect for that. And I really, this was his debut album, right? The other one was Mixtape. For a debut album, I don't think it's that bad, to be honest.
It's not horrible.
It shows how much better he can get. Right?
He can, yeah. He has a lot of potential. I'll give him that. But for me, this one wasn't like a must listen.
Oh, neither.
You know what I mean? It's not an important album. It's not a must listen. I think it's something that shows hip hop fans that there's more out there. There's somebody like him out there. To maybe watch out for in the future. But as of right now, I don't think he has what it takes to be a star.
No, he's an up-and-comer, but he's not a comer yet.
He's not coming.
He's not coming anytime soon.
Yeah. Do you want to give a rating for this album?
If we're rating it purely as a debut album...
Yeah, let's rate this as a debut album from a fairly unknown artist.
I'm going to give this a B.
A B out of 10?
Probably out of
7.5.
A B out of 10.
Well, no, that's what I mean. Like
I'll just give this a flat 6.9.
6.9. Okay. Yeah, I'll be somewhere in that range. I'll give it a 6.25 out of 10. You know, this is a debut album. I'm grading it as almost like a mixtape, and now mixtapes are. Like, what to expect as mixtapes.
That's a fucking acid trap. Like,
there's a lot of mixtapes out there that are like, I mean, even Drake's mixtape. Not the Drake and Future one, but the Drake. Drake
like, the bar has definitely been raised as far as pieces of work goes. Anyways, I think we're rambling a little bit now. You have anything else to say?
I mean, we're at 24 minutes. Let's take this to 25.
Sure.
So, let's just make funny faces. Look at that. That's a funny face.
Thanks, man.
Anyways, I think we'll cut it. Sayonara,
I thought we were making
suckers.
funny faces. We got like 30 seconds.
But you're not doing any.
32, 31.
I mean, I did 30 seconds of funny faces, just me.
Oh.
Sayonara, suckers.
Why did you say that? Daniel, really, but...
Yeah.
Okay.
Track number 2 is called Zippora.
We don't know what that means. But
I don't know if I'm even saying it right. Zippora, whatever. But it's track number 2. This one is... I actually didn't even know, because it's such a good transition from track 1 to track 2. I didn't even know until he pointed out that it was a new song. So I'm stupid, but once it switched over, it's his mom basically waking him up and saying, "Get your ass up."
There's an alarm clock first. He's not just like some lazy motherfucker getting his mom to wake him up. He does have an alarm clock.
But his mom is like, you can't just lay your ass around like that all day.
Also
you got to
true.
get your ass up and go to church, literally. And he's got cool lyrics in this song. He basically asking why, why this, why that. Basically, the theme of it is like the struggles of growing up as a African American in America, and his parents being a certain way because they're immigrants. I think that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, and this one felt a lot like an actual intro, and it was also very personal, and it had substance.
It had some substance. This song, from what it looked like to me, was like at the beginning, flipping to the radio stations, and then after you left, scenario happens. He's talking to a girl, whatever, on the phone, and then basically he's recapping his life.
Yeah,
pretty much. So this song is a big recap of his life. So it's helpful for somebody like me, because I don't really know who GoldLink is. Didn't know too much about him, and this song told me pretty much everything I need to know about him, and his sound and everything was all there. First thing that caught my eye was that he's got an interesting flow, he's got an interesting voice, and I like that about him. That's one of the pluses I have. We'll see if there's more pluses.
Yeah. And great progression also. It's one of those tracks where it progresses throughout the track, whether it's the beat, whether it's his flow, but he kept switching it up, which is
always key for an intro.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely. Or the song.
That's what.
Yeah, I think that's what it was suggesting.
Yeah, I think that's what he suggested. What did you think about the song, though?
Good overall. I didn't like this one as much as I liked track 1. I thought track 1 was a solid track. This one is good, but it got a little boring, maybe, possibly. It's hard to get bored of GoldLink, though, because he's so bouncy and vibey. One thing about this is it had a unique beat, something we don't often hear from like GoldLink and his beats, and like the way he produces, or whoever produced it produces. We got a guitar in the background. I liked that. We heard a few like unheard of not unheard of, but like rarities throughout this album with like samples and things like that. We got a violin at some point, but yeah, it was a guitar in this one, and I really appreciated that.
Yeah, for me it was an okay beat, to be honest with you. I wasn't too impressed there. Lyrically, it was okay for an artist who's just mainly about their flow and mainly about their vibiness. So and that's what you expect. And he's mostly famous on the internet, I'm assuming. I'm pretty sure he's
like under a label now.
He's under, okay.
I think so. I couldn't tell you for sure, but I know that, I don't know, like a lot of people have heard of him, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, like I've heard of him, but yeah. First album I've ever heard. Is interesting, for sure. You want to do the first one?
Of course I do. Thank you so much, man. That actually means the world to me. Track number 1, After You Left. Also, this album is kind of about girls the whole time, or one girl, and so we're gonna start off. This is kind of like the beginning of the story to the album After You Left. One thing I liked about this a lot is right off the bat we get instant like classic GoldLink, right? Instantly vibey, instantly bouncy, really well produced, and this song felt like an intro, which I like. A lot of intros to albums, it like you could throw that song anywhere in the piece of work and it would. Yo, what's up, guys, and welcome to another album review. I think I caught him off guard that time. This is And After That We Didn't Talk by GoldLink. I want to preface this by saying I'm a big fan of GoldLink. I've been listening to him since his other album. I'm not sure if it was his first, but his previous one nonetheless, which was called The God Complex. Really dope. He's a very bouncy rapper. Really cool vibes all around. And you ready?
Yeah, let's do this.
Awesome.
Actually, for people who don't know who GoldLink is, because I didn't really know who he is, I don't know what to expect. You said it best. He's vibey, he's bouncy. Like this kind of artist with the type of beats that he uses and the way he raps, think of it's like Euro trash music mixed with like urban American hip hop music, and the lyrics and the sounds just kind of meshing together. And that's GoldLink for you.